Lester worked with thousands of people from 1952 until early 1974, helping them in the manner that you have just heard. Then, in a moment of profound understanding and total surrender, Lester had a breakthrough. He saw a way of communicating what he had discovered in 1952 through a technique that anyone could use to quickly gain their own complete freedom. The Sedona method is that technique. The Sedona method is a powerful yet simple technique that can be used moment to moment all day long to easily and quickly let go of the feelings that cover who we really are. This technique, once experientially learned, shows each person how they can let go of these feelings at their roots. The results achieved by graduates of the Sedona Method course have been so profound that thousands of people around the world have taken the course. The Sedona Method is Lester's gift to the world. This final tape is Lester himself describing his discovery.
I was born July 19, 1909 in Elizabeth, New Jersey, into a middle-class family as a very shy person. And I try to do things as things were supposed to have been done, doing the right thing, getting a good education, being the best in my field. And my natural inclination was toward science, especially the science of the world and man himself. And I was graduated from Rutgers College in 1931 as a physicist, after which I worked 20-some years in physics and in engineering. In physics, I worked at research and development on measuring instruments and automatic control connected with Brown Instrument Company, which became a subsidiary of Honeywell. And in the engineering field, I worked as an electrical engineer, a mechanical engineer, construction engineer, heating and ventilating engineer, marine engineer, actually 14 different fields. I also actually went into various businesses intertwined with the engineering, wanting to make money, wanting to make it in the world. At that time, I did not know what I know now, that what I was seeking was actually the answers to life itself, and that nothing I had worked at would give me that answer. And as the years went by, I became heavy with depression, with sickness. And by 1952, I had been through constant ailments like being jaundiced 3 or so times a year, constantly with an enlarged liver, kidney stones, spleen trouble, hyper and hypoacidity, ulcers that perforated and formed lesions. And then I had at least 10 years of migraine headache. And then toward the 1952, I had had 2 coronary thromboses. And after the second one, I was told I wouldn't live much longer, that I might die any day, that I shouldn't even take the effort to go up a step unless I absolutely had to. I was extremely fearful of dying. But I realized, I said to myself, you're still breathing, Lester, there's still a chance. So I sat me down and began thinking on an around-the-clock basis. I had been considered a very smart boy, I had always made the honor roll. I had a 4-year scholarship to Rutgers back in the days when not many scholarships were handed out. But then, after the second heart attack and when I was told I wouldn't live, I said to myself, Lester, you are stupid, stupid, stupid. Having lived 43 or so years and having reached the end of the line without happiness, without health. Therefore, all this knowledge that you have accumulated is of no avail. I had studied Watson's behaviorism in the 30s, Freud in the later 30s and early 40s. I had studied the philosophies. I had studied logic. I studied economics. I studied all the major fields of man. And with all that knowledge, there I was at the end of the line, making me realize that the accumulated knowledge of man was of no use. And so then I decided, start from scratch. Forget all that knowledge. Begin from point zero and see what you can pick up. So I posed the questions. What am I? What is this world? What is my relationship to it? What is mind? What is intelligence? What is happiness? And I began by asking myself, what do I want out of life? And the answer was happiness. Investigating further, I went into the moments when I was feeling happiest. And I discovered something which to me was startling at the time, that it was when I was loving that I was happiest. That happiness equated to my capacity to love rather than to being loved. That was the starting point. I began correcting all my thoughts and feelings in that direction, from that of wanting to be loved to that of loving. And in that process, I discovered another major thing that kind of shocked me. I saw that I wanted to change this entire world, and that was the cause of my ulcers, or one of the major causes of it. On realizing how much I wanted to change things in this world, and that made me a slave of this world, I made the decision to reverse that. And in the process of following out these two directions, of actually unloading all the subconscious concepts and pressures in those directions, I discovered I was getting happier, freer, lighter, and feeling better in general. On seeing that this direction was good, I made the decision that if a slice of the pie tastes as good, I want the whole pie. And I decided not to let go until I got that whole entire pie of happiness, and with it the answer to what am I, what is this life, what is my relationship to it. This decision allowed me to, as I claim, get the answer to life itself in a matter of 3 months' time. And I actually believe if I did it, anyone could do it, if they had that much want to. And in that 3-month period of time, all the ailments I had in my physical body corrected. all my miseries dropped away. And I ended up in a place in which I was happy all the time with no sorrow. Not that the world stopped pushing against me. It continued. But I was in a place where I could resolve things almost immediately. Having cleared out all the negative fears, all the negative I cannots, I would focus right in on the answer to every problem and get it very quickly. And so my whole life turned around from being one of formerly being depressed and sick to one of being happy all the time and in perfect health all the time. One of the things that happened in this process was identification with others. I saw that we are all related. We are all interconnected. Our minds are interconnected. Each mind is like a radio broadcasting and receiving station. That we are all tuned into each other unconsciously. We're just not aware of it. And that if a lot of the suppressed energies are allowed out, this becomes obvious to us. And once we identify with everyone else, it's just natural that we want everyone else to discover what we have discovered. That life was meant to be beautiful, meant to be happy all the time with no sorrow, meant to be with perfect health. And so, from that reaching that high point of understanding in 1952, from that time on, I have wanted to help others discover what I discovered.
Thank you. Greetings and love to each and every one of you. I think the biggest surprise tonight was to me. I didn't know I was going to talk until about 10 minutes before 8 this evening when I was told I was going to be the surprise. So I began thinking, what am I going to talk about? Talk about you or talk about me? And I realized, what's the difference? We are all in the very same boat called life. We're all doing, in my eyes, the exact same thing that I did. We are all looking for the summum bonum, the highest good, the ultimate place, the greatest happiness. And we're about it all the time, struggling for it, looking for it, wondering, where is it? Well, back in 1952, I claimed I found the place. It's right where I am. It's right where you are. And all this looking for it everywhere, every day, year in and year out, is such a waste of time. Why? It's right where you are. We're all here in this classroom called Earth, trying to discover something, the ultimate. And we're all looking for it externally, where it isn't. If we will only turn our direction back upon ourselves, we will discover it's right here where I am, where you are, right in your very own beingness. I say, are you? You say, yes. I say, that's it. Do nothing else but that, and you'll be in the ultimate good and the ultimate state of happiness. But why don't you do it? You're so habituated into looking for it over there, over here, in him, in her, in this job, and it never is there. So we're all going through the same trip of trying to discover what is this all about, where is my happiness? And when we stop chasing after it out there and we turn inward, we discover that all these hard, negative, terrible feelings are only a feeling. And that it is possible to get rid of these feelings by releasing them. And all these feelings are subconscious programs, every bit of them put in as pro-survival. It's not only fear that they say is fight or flight that is survival. All our feelings have been programmed in to automatically keep us surviving. They keep us all the time looking out there, trying to survive. Keep our mind active subconsciously 24 hours a day, so never for even one moment do we stop thinking and discover what we are. If you could just stop your thinking for one moment, you will go through the most tremendous experience there is. That you are the totality of this universe in your beingness. That when your mind goes quiet, you automatically see, I am the most terrific being there is in this universe. I am whole, complete, perfect. I always was, I am now, and I always will be. So what is it that keeps us from being in that most delectable state there is? Simply the accumulated programs called feelings. All these negative feelings have us constantly struggling to survive, have us constantly looking away from this tremendous thing that we are. And all we need to do is to quiet that mind, and we become self-obvious to ourselves of this tremendous loving being that we are. How do we do it? I say it's simple. It's the donor method. It happens to be the fastest, the most effective way there is to achieve this high state of being, where we are in total control of our universe, where every moment is a wonderful, wonderful moment, where it is impossible to be unhappy. And I say that's our natural state when these negative feelings are released. Someday, you're going to do it. You're in the same boat. You're struggling. You're doing everything to achieve that happiness. But someday you'll get it, because you will never stop until you get there. But if you want to do it faster, try our way. I promise you, you'll be very pleasantly surprised. Everything you're looking for is right where you are. All you need to do is to take off the blinders. Your vision is very blurred. You're looking through all these subconscious programs. When you release them, your vision becomes clear. You discover you are the greatest. You're whole, complete. You're eternal. All your fear of dying disappears. And life is so comfortable after that. And there's no struggle whatsoever when you get these negative feelings up and out. So I urge you to take this method. It's a tool. In 1 week's time, there'll be a big change in you for the better. And from there on, you will continue to get better and better and better, lighter and lighter, happier and happier. And this thing called love is your basic nature. All the love there is in the universe is right in your basic nature. And you'll discover that happiness, your happiness equates to your capacity to love. And conversely, all your misery equates to your need to be loved. Just love, love, love. And you'll be so happy and healthy and prosperous. But again, you need to lift out these non-love feelings. So again, I urge you to try our way. I promise you, you'll be very satisfied. Try it, you'll like it. Thank you so much for coming.
And now, here's Lester with a few final words.
Greetings. This is Lester talking to you from his heart. If the tapes you have heard have helped you, there is much more help that is available. On the tapes, I talk to you in a manner that is oriented to provoke thinking in you that leads you to a new realization. I talk to you in a way that attempts to reach the part of you that inherently and intuitively understands more than your present intellectual ability. All this leads you to wisdom, wisdom that is higher than present intellectual knowledge. I have evolved a do-it-yourself method that can show you how to every day increase your understanding. It is called the Sedona method. It will greatly enhance and increase your self-growth and keep it going from here on. The philosophy of the Sedona method is simply that each one of us has no limits except those that we hold on to subconsciously, and that when we let go of our subconscious limitations, we discover that our potential is unlimited, unlimited in the direction of health, happiness, affluence, and materiality. The Sedona method is the how-to achieve all the former in a most effective way on a daily basis. The Sedona method is the postgraduate course to the tapes you have heard and will allow you to achieve the ultimate of that which you wish in life. I strongly recommend that you take the course. Thank you.